Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Czech Tier 7 Premium Heavy Tank, the Tiger 1 Skoda A18. Or the Tiger 1 A18 as it says in the game. And it's a Tier 7 Tiger tank with a little bit of a difference. And that is that it gets a 3-shot auto loader, which is very, very reminiscent of the gun that you get on the Skoda T25. Or on a gun like the Chi-Rees, where it has that 1 second intra-clip time. It spits out the bullets really fast, and before you know it, you rack up damage really quickly. I really like this Tiger because it's a hell of a lot of fun to play. It's one of those tanks that you never feel like you're out of the game ever, because you are just constantly firing. You have a really nice slab of hit points. You have 178 pen on the standard AP, which is nice. You have 234 pen on the premium APCR, which is absolutely fantastic and deals with most things you're going to face. You've got a decent top speed of 41 kilometers an hour for a heavy tank, which you can hit with the off-road driving and a powertrain because it is a little bit sluggish. And yeah, it's like the reload is like 5 seconds, something like that, and that's how you keep spitting the bullets out as well. It's just a really fun Tiger tank, and a lot of people got it back in one of the season passes because I think it was one of the ultimate season pass rewards or something like that for 6k gold. Might have even been one of the level 100 ones. I can't quite remember. A lot of people picked it up, and yeah, it's a hell of a lot of fun to play. Like I said, just for this, what you're seeing here on this T1 Heavy is why I love it, because in the blink of an eye, we've absolutely smashed him. You know, and again, it never feels like we are reloading, does it? If you're watching this with it is a 1.33 second intra clip. If you're watching this, we're just constantly going non-stop. It's non-stop action, and I think that's why I like it a lot, because you never feel like you have any downtime. And if you need to switch to premium or standard rounds or anything like that, again, you never feel like you're doing yourself a disservice by just pressing A and reloading, or whatever your reload button is. And yeah, I just generally really enjoy this tank. Always have since it came out. So in terms of a crew on the Skoda, the Tiger 1 A18, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Track Mechanic, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, and Off-Road Driving. Off-Road Driving to help me get to my top speed, make the most of this mobility as I can. All the gun perks just to make sure that the gun is as good as possible, because it can every now and then be a little bit derpy if you don't run the gun perks, because you also don't get to be able to put vert stabs on it because it is a tier 7 heavy. And then yeah, Track Mechanic to make sure that I can put my tracks back on if I get tracked and I've already used my repair kit. Naturally, if you don't see the point in Track Mechanic, because quite a few people don't see the point in Track Mechanic, you could run something like Rapid Aim to make the turret traverse better, because it is a Tiger 1, and a Tiger 1 turret traverse is honestly not that great. Great shooting me. Only took you 3 attempts to hit that guy. But yeah, so, you know, you could run Rapid Aim instead if you wanted to. And in terms of equipment, I run optics, vents, and the powertrain. Like I say, powertrain to make sure that the tank hits its top speed, the optics to make sure its view range is as good as possible, and vents just to help the tank all round. And I mean, with that, without a crew, you generally get up to 445 meters view range, which is great, and with a crew, you probably get up to like 470, 480, somewhere in that region, which means you'll be able to spot a lot of tanks. And in sort of the more open maps where you know, you can sort of rely on spotting, it will really help. So in terms of this game, great wall. We have managed to do 2.6k damage so far with blocking 115, which is quite random, because Tiger 1s don't randomly bounce that much. Although they do have random bounces off of that. If you can see that upper plate there where it's got that curved edge, shots sometimes just ricochet off of that. I don't know if any of you have that with Tigers, where you'll shoot at them and think, oh, a squishy Tiger. Yes, I can shoot that. And then you hit it and just ricochet and you go, you what, mate? How did that bounce? What? Oh, okay. And it's usually because you just hit that extremely sloped angled bit on the front and then it ricochets. You're really unfortunate if you do hit that bit. But yeah, we've managed to do quite well in this tank so far. There's only 2 tanks left. I actually looked at my kills there because I thought, I feel like I've killed a lot of people. I mean, this is before ribbons, naturally. Both of these replays are before ribbons. And I looked at well, when I was driving around, it's one of those things where I felt like I'd killed a lot of tanks. I felt like I'd been a part of a heavy attack. And I was like, how many kills do I have? And I looked and I actually had 7 kills. So it was like, right, okay, I need to basically pick a tank, the one that I think I might actually get there and farm. And I never thought I'd get anywhere near the guy in the base, so I left him and went straight to help this guy near their base to attack this Tiger P. But unfortunately, the Tiger P killed the guy, and I'm a 2-shot for the Tiger P, but I do reload very quickly. So we loaded the premium to make sure that we're going to go through him. We managed to get 1 whole clip through this guy before he's fired at us, and he's actually stock, which means that I can easily finish him off. And we finished the game with 3.2k damage and the victory, which leaves us with 8 kills, which is nice, which leaves us with the Devastator, the Ace Tanker, the Radley Walters, Top Gun, the High Caliber, 849 base XP. A really nice game to have 8 kills. It's always nice when you get that Radley Walters medal. It's always great because you go, yeah, 8 kills. It's one of those things that when you're playing Cold War that you sort of feel lax a little bit, right? Because you get 8 kills in there and you just think, 8 kills, nothing to commemorate it. Whereas this, you see that shiny Radley Walters medal, you're like, yeah, baby. Really nice to get. It's always great. And we're on to the second game. And the second game's on Himmelsdorf. And on Himmelsdorf, we're top tier. Because naturally, really, to be honest, this tank thrives. And just like every other Tiger tank, really, or should I say all the other Tiger 1s, this tank will thrive when it's top tier. Because the thing is, this tank has low alpha. 110 alpha on the round, no matter if you've got a 3-shot autoloader, is low. So when you're facing a lot of lower tiers and a lot of same tiers, where they're obviously a bit more squishy in the armor and stuff like that, this tank will do really, really well because the DPM is manic for the tier. But when you're facing more tier 8s and 9s that have that 400 alpha and all that sort of stuff, they have no problem penning you. You have to make sure you hit the right spot to pen them. You're naturally not going to do as well. But for stuff like that, I mean, Ricochet, one of them, this AC4 experimental is never going to stand a chance against me. Because we're just slamming all these shots in. I mean, he's reloading in a similar time frame to me. But yet, we're just delivering essentially 300 alpha. But we naturally have to hit those 3 shells to get that 300 alpha, right? But we shut down that AC4 experimental, and we end up noticing that there's a guy we can shoot on the hill in the Comet. So it's like, well, okay, I'm going to try and see if we can get shots up into him. So we're trying to put some shots in. Unfortunately, they're just missing him. We managed to get 1 in out of the 2, but is what it is. We're going to try and see if we can get some flanking shots now on the guys on the D line, because from here they've sent a lot of people to the town, to the hill, sorry. So we want to be able to try and win this bottom end. So we get 1 shot into the T-3485 then, and then we just try and get the last 2 shells in, which we do into the BK3001P, which is nice. I say, this is what I love about this tank. We are never out of this fight. There's a Thunderbolt on the hill. It's like, well, I've just reloaded. Let me just put these 3 shots in. Oh, look, I'm ready to go again. Can't quite get the shot at him, so we're going to try and side scrape around this corner and start putting some shells into this VK. Unfortunately, we ricochet off his turret, but I decided, okay, taking that hit, I don't want to sit there for any longer. So what I want to do is try and angle to get a shot at this Comet. So we're just reversing out, and then it's like, oh god, that's an SU-152, and the SU-152 is firing those absolutely filthy heat rounds that thing gets for 250 heat for 700 alpha, and it really hurt. That was a massive slap on this tank, and a lot of our hit points gone in that one go. But we do notice this Chaffee, and it's this Chaffee is, well, this poor Chaffee. It's like, well, hello, Mr. Chaffee. I'm just going to come for you because you're all alone over here and I want to get you. But we notice on the map, the 45 TP ends up starting to creep up. I'm thinking, this guy looks like he might come for the booty shots, and we don't want that. But this Chaffee is in a position where he's behind me. I don't want this Chaffee to be alive behind me. So I'm just looking to see if I can angle to get some shots at him, but I can't quite do it. But I can see the 45 TP through the little gap. Unfortunately, we ricochet off his turret, but we do get 2 more shots into his side. Like I say, if people miss and you start to be able to farm the shots into people, this tank deals damage so quickly. And when you track people, like we have this 45 TP as well, they're doomed. Because obviously, if you do track people, and especially at this tier where a lot of people, again, don't really run track mechanic as much, you will perma-track people so easily. And before they blink, they've lost all of their hit points. element of surprise is a great thing for this tank, just like every other autoloader. But the element of surprise, especially just because of how quick the intro clip is, having that element of surprise and just being able to go, I'm just going to drive around the corner, go bang, 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 and then pull back before they've been able to react is really nice. So we're up to 3k damage so far with 239 assistance, and I'm just trying to reverse around this corner, not get spotted as much as possible, and try and see if we can get shots at the guys on the hill, because they have won the hill quite handily. We, for the most part, have won the bottom. There's not many tanks over here, but we want to make sure that we can try and get rid of the people that have shots down at us from up there. There is this pesky T29 who's just sitting up above. I'm like, okay, I can't really pen the side of the turret with the standard rounds, but maybe I might be able to get some side pens into his turret. So we load the 234 pen premium rounds. We managed to get 1 out of 3 through the side of his turret. Every little helps. I knew I couldn't pen it with the standard AP, but with the APCR, yeah, it probably could go through. But we're just being very careful, because naturally, we don't have many hit points left, and I don't want to get caught out and just get blown up, because that wouldn't be very good. So we're just being careful. And I'm just going to maneuver now to try and move back towards our base, because I was expecting maybe some people to start maneuvering into our cap from the hill, because they did, like I said, they did win the hill at the minute. We're 5-7 down. So they've still got quite a few tanks that are unaccounted for at the minute. And there we go. I was expecting that. The cap starts blaring. There's 2 tanks in there. So it's like, okay, I've got to go back and defend this cap. Do have to watch out for this SU-152, though, as I'm crossing, because he could end up ending the game very quickly. Fortunately enough for me, though, this Comet hasn't realised that I was here. We managed to get a couple of shots in. We end up finishing them off, and we have 2 shells left to shut down that Thunderbolt. Again, that's where the incredible reload and the intraclip reload really, really helped this tank so much. Because in the blink of an eye, again, we shut those guys down. We ended up missing 1 of the 3 shots on the Comet there. But then we managed to reload really quickly and get to finish him off. And then we had 2 shells left for that Thunderbolt, and we got to shut him down. Again, we're having to be careful, because that SU-152 ends up appearing behind us. I thought he might stay on their line, but he doesn't. But he's made a mistake. I'm an autoloader, and he was trying to get round to get a shot at me there, but fortunately enough for me, I could quite easily shut him down with how quick the intraclip reload is. If the intraclip reload was slower, we might have struggled to shut him down, but fortunately we managed to survive that. The T29 ends up missing us, thankfully. There's a heavy tank in our base capping, and there's a heavy tank in their base capping for us. And we've actually come across the only bot in the game. Literally, this is the only bot in the game. We didn't have one on our... I don't think we had one on our team, but they had one on their team. And naturally, it's gone and defaulted into the cap. And I don't think I realised at the time that this is actually a bot, because I am side-scraping here to try and make sure that I ricochet the shot. And because, well, naturally, he's a 50-50 to kill me if it pens me. But I could probably actually be a bit more chancy with this bot, because it is a bot. I could probably be a far bit more chancy there and try and get the kill and accelerate our damage. But we managed to cap out and win. And we finished the victory, 6 kills, 5,000 damage, 239 assistance, ace tanker, the top gun, the high caliber, the steel wall, 2,205 base XP. A really great game for the Tiger 1 A18, or the Tiger 1 Skoda A18. An absolutely fantastic Tier 7 Tiger tank. It's one of the best Tiger tanks as well, because it's just so much fun. And yeah, that was the only bot on there in that entire game as well. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Great success!